Welcome to this Rennie Mystery Box challenge.
I've got a question. What is a Rennie Mystery Box challenge?
Basically, we get sent an exotic or unusual ingredient and with your help, turn it into something delicious.
Delicious. Bye, James.
James, send in the box. It's fine. It's fine. Cheers, mate.
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
Whoa.
What the?
Okay.
That could choke a dinosaur.
Go on, whip it out.
Do I?
Baz, this is you. You've got to do. Okay,
Oh.
ready?
Oh, it's hard and soft.
Is it cold?
Oh dear.
What is it?
It's a bone.
Marrow. I think it's the
Yeah,
middle bit
bone
we're
marrow.
after. I think it's the middle bit we're
A
after.
little bit soggy as well. Have you cooked with it before?
I love bone marrow. Eating it loads. Never cooked with it.
It is bone marrow, right?
Yeah, it is. It's bone marrow. And I love it because, like Ben said, you eat it in restaurants, but you never cook with it at home.
Okay, well, we need to work out what to cook with it then. Send a tweet.
I'll send a tweet.
You're sending a tweet.
Because I have my phone on me.
This is what we're working with, people.
The middle bit.
Do your best.
Send. We are in your capable hands.
So many of your suggestions pointed out that bone marrow is brilliant for enriching beef stews and broths, which is why we're going to cook.
Well, we're going to cook beef stew, aren't we?
Yeah, with spinach dumplings. And it begins with an onion, which you need to peel and roughly chop, a couple of cloves, maybe 3 of garlic. Just peel those but keep them whole.
Yep.
And meanwhile, I'm going to take a leek, carrot and celery and roughly chop those. Basically a mirepoix.
Basically.
The mirepoix forms the perfect bed for our bone marrow, which we're going to roast off. Roasted bone marrow is where the awesome flavour is. And just before we roast it off, give it a generous pinch of salt and pepper and oil, and then it goes into an oven about 220 degrees Celsius for about 25-30 minutes. The veg will begin to caramelise around the edges and the bone marrow is amazing. In the meantime, while that's roasting off, we can concentrate on our beef. So get a nice dice of beef, about 1 kilo, season it well, salt and pepper, and then sear it off in a very hot pan with oil in batches, so don't cool the pan down.
Oh yeah.
A good sear, and that should take a similar amount of time to our roasting bone marrow. Now that the beef is all seared off, it can go into the big pan. What we've done is get rid of the excess grease and fat, but leave all of those charred bits in there because that's all the flavour. And we're later going to deglaze it with the red wine. I'm always tempted to rush this bit, but you want all that amazing colour.
You want the char. You want
the char.
Flavour.
This, however, is amazing. This is where the depth of flavour, you guys said, it also goes into things like Vietnamese pho and things like that, because that is like the best broth. You know when you go to a restaurant,
What's that smell? What does that smell like?
so you know when you go to a restaurant, you have jus, and it's amazing. They've been doing it for so long. It's because of all the veal bones and stuff they put in. It's all the marrow from inside of the bones that gives it its amazing flavour.
It smells like the richest, tastiest gravy.
So what do you do now? Do you have to scrape it out or do you leave it in there?
So a couple of things. Once it's roasted, you can literally just quenelle it and put it on toast.
So that's
It's absolutely amazing.
It's a fatty. Yeah, you can see. So it's not meaty, it's not anything, it's sort of gelatinous, fatty.
However, what we're going to do is bubble it in here with all of the juices and liquid and the beef, which we're going to stew down for about 2 hours. And it just kind of dissolves, falls out the bone and makes it so good. All the other flavours go in. Red wine, tomato puree, fresh rosemary, a couple of sprigs of, and then beef stock. And if you can, get the good stuff because it's going to make such a difference.
Flavour.
And it goes back into the oven for about 2 hours, but we've turned the oven down to 160 degrees, so a long, slow cook. Then we can come back and make our dumplings.
Dumplings.
Yes, the very next step. The beef's had a couple of hours, so we can make them very, very simply. Blend up in a food processor spinach, flour, horseradish sauce, butter, salt and pepper, and then add in a little bit of cold water, but just enough to literally bring it together and roll them into dumplings.
Dumplings.
Like golf ball sized.
Dumplings.
Or walnut sized.
Dumplings.
Now, because we washed our spinach, we actually didn't need to add a huge amount more water to this because it was already just the kind of consistency you want to roll it into your dumplings. And because we've used self-raising flour, these will puff up a little bit as they bake and kind of steam in all that gorgeous juice.
You know what I don't like though? The people that say, well, you got dumplings, so you don't need roast potatoes or mashed potatoes.
No, you need both. You need it all.
I'd say add a Yorkshire pudding on top of it.
Oh! Do you want to grab the stew out of the oven?
Sure thing.
Now at this point, remember the lid remains hot. We can fish out the rosemary. That's why we left them in whole. And this is the best bit. Grab your bone marrow and scoop out
Oh.
all of that inside.
Now, could you give that bone to a dog?
Yeah. Or continue to use it in another broth or stew for yourself, because it will have more flavour that hasn't all come out.
Okay.
But I think a dog is going to be more appreciative of it than another stock pot.
Yeah. Or bury it in the garden, grow another cow.
Up until now, we've been cooking that with the lid on, so it's kept all the juices in.
Yeah.
Now it will kind of reduce a little bit in the oven for the last half an hour of cooking, just as our dumplings cook as well.
We've got to wait half an hour. We've just waited 2 hours. We haven't moved from
2,
these
4,
seats.
6, 7, 8 dumplings,
He's ignoring me.
4 portions. Back into the oven, 160 degrees Celsius for half an hour.
Look at the dumplings on that stew.
And some awesome roasted veg. It's piping hot straight out of the oven, but it smells absolutely incredible.
Bone marrow, not that unusual to us, we just don't have it very regularly. But I'm sure that you guys cook with loads of unusual things that, well, things that we would see unusual. And if you do, you need to take a photo of those unusual things and put them on sortedfood.com so we can look at them and say, that's unusual.
And if you want the full recipe and details for this bone marrow beef stew, then all the details with step-by-step instructions and photos are in the link down below.
Because that is our beef and bone marrow stew with spinach dumplings
Sorted. Beef stew.
Dig in, make sure you
Yes,
get some
please.
of that awesome dumpling as well.
Oh man, I've got a big old bit of beef there.
That has to be up there with one of the top stews I've ever had.
I think this one truly does deserve a round of applause, because that one is spectacular.
Do you know what? A very affordable ingredient, bone marrow. We like that one.
Why waste time clapping?
I'm not clapping, I'm eating.